John Saville and Alan Dodgen had both worked at differing firms. John had been around, but chiefly spent the last part of his career before he founded the firm with Labran, Ross Brothers, and Montgomery, before it was Coopers and Labran. And Alan Dodgen was younger by a few years than him, and he had been working at Grant Thornton after he had gotten out of his duty with the Corps of the Air Force. He had done that after being at A&M for in the Corps. So when he finished up, he had worked for John, and John saw his work ethic. And then when John started the firm, he got Alan to come and work with him. Eventually, Alan ended up actually being the managing partner, and John was in the background more, but they were always together. I think they both had kind of entrepreneurial spirit. They both liked being their own bosses. They both liked the idea of having a smaller environment rather than a larger environment, because they had both been at really big environments, and they liked each other mainly in terms of that. John was he was a lawyer as well as an accountant, and he was more of the person that had a lot of contacts and so forth, whereas Alan was a lot more of the heavy lifter of the work and that kind of thing. So it was a good tag team for them. Well, there was another partner in between. After they both retired, Tom Gilbert took over for managing partner for a period of time, and then he got an opportunity to go to work for one of our clients, and then I took over from him. And so unlike his transition, it was very formal from Alan retiring from managing partner and Tom taking over. Mine was like an immediate thing because this event happened in 2006, and then all of a sudden I went from being a partner to being the managing partner all in about a 30-day period. And so, but the legacy was still there. Tom and I remained friends. He's still a great friend of the firm. Everybody kept in good stead with each other. And the main thing was to continue on the legacy. We had already kind of started shifting to where we were trying to brand the name Saville all along to have it. One of the most significant decisions we ever made was to determine not to change the name of the firm at some point. When there was a moment when Alan and John had both retired, Tom Gilbert and I and David Epperson were all together, and we controlled the firm. And that was the moment we could have made a decision to change the direction and the name of the firm. And we said, no, we're going to get behind the name Saville. And that's made a huge difference in the history of the firm because it got us all on the same page, took the egos out of the equation. We all got behind everything, and it worked really well. Oh, I mean, I would say that the fact that when you're a small firm, really small firm like we were, the environment was such that it was very old school. Everybody did everything. So we would start out the year doing audits from January, February into early March. Then we'd go back into the office and we started doing tax returns. Then tax returns would be over April 15th. Then we go back out and do audits again. Then we come back in. So it was everybody was a very general practitioner. And then in the 90s, as you get bigger and you realize the depth of the clients you work with, the complexities of the things that come up, you have to divide up. And so we have an audit department, a tax department, an outsourced accounting department, a family office department. Now it's all about being more specialized, understanding your genre better than anybody else. And that's been the biggest change in terms of kind of structurally. The biggest change in terms of overall, I would say, is that it's just been learning to divide up and keep the small feeling by using teams to do that, rather than, because when you're 14 or 15 people, it's naturally you bump into everybody and everybody gets to learn from everybody else just by the fact that you're just there together. But when you're 150 people, you have to account for the layers that you're looking at of things there. And so you divide up into teams and different areas so that everybody still gets that kind of small firm mentality and feel that you're trying to get to. I mean, we made a decision a few years ago to really focus on what we considered our core client, which is entrepreneurs and affluent families. I really think that was there have been a few seminal points. I gave you one a minute ago about the naming. Another seminal moment for the firm was when we said our core focus is affluent families and entrepreneurs, so that we could really start to focus where we're going with our knowledge, with the people that we hire, what we're going to do, with those kind of things. And so my wish is for everybody to continue on that path, to keep that core focus in mind, because I think it'll keep the rudder kind of steady for them and push everybody forward. And I think it's good. It'll be great. January 1983. I did an internship here, and when I walked into the office at One Main Place, we were there for just 2 weeks before we moved over here. We've been in the plaza basically ever since. But when I walked over there in 1983, there were 15 people. And I was in an area where there were 4 people in one office. It was really tight. And now, this year, January of 2023, and as we sit here today, we're now looking at, we had an intern class that just came through, and when they were all here, we had almost 180 people. And the thing I love about it is it's still Saville. I mean, it's still the same people, still the same smile, still the same worldview, still the same culture that we had before. We have to work really hard to keep it, and I want everybody to keep doing that.